Hey, I'm Zoe, and this is the Relentless Reset. No formulas, no fixes, just short, honest reflections on navigating the messy middle of growth and becoming. At the very beginning of this season, I told you a story about a puzzle without a top. About a version of life that asks you to cram pieces together in an image, often one defined by someone else. Not to discover your own picture, but to perform, to please, to be impressive. And week after week over the season, we have worked to try to loosen that hold. We slowed down, we listened. We even told some truth, even if just to ourselves. And now, you're not the person you were in episode 1, but you're not someone entirely new either. My hope is that you are simply more yourself, more comfortable in the reset, more practiced in the return. But the question remains, what happens when the insight fades, when the series ends, when life gets loud again? So today's reset isn't about something new. It's about what's next. Like many of us, maybe you feel a little afraid, and that's not unreasonable. We are afraid to slip back into old patterns, afraid to lose the ground we've worked so hard to reclaim. But remember that the integration reset reminded us, slipping isn't failure. It's just part of tending a living garden. It's cyclical, non-linear. And growth isn't a straight line. It's a spiral. So the same insight may show up in a new costume. The same discomfort might return with a new cause. But you are not starting from scratch. You've built new language, new muscles, new self-trust. So here's the reframe. We've been taught that slipping or making a mistake means starting over. But the moment you can catch yourself drifting, you can choose to come back. And now you have the tools to do it. So resetting isn't failure, it's fluency. It's like learning a language. At first, you are clumsy, you stumble, but the more you practice, the more naturally the words come. You will revisit the same lessons, but from higher ground. That's not backtracking, that's scaffolding. Each turn of the spiral builds on the last. And fluency means you don't start from scratch. You pick back up with more ease, more speed, more grace. Returning to yourself works the same way. The truth is you will forget. You will fall back into old patterns. But secure attachment doesn't mean you never drift. It means you trust there's a home to return to, a center to the spiral, a space you can return to again and again. And my goal is that you become that home for yourself, in the same way that I've become home for myself. So here's an invitation. Don't wait for the next breakdown or crisis to remember who you are. I don't think you need a guru. I don't think you need to become a different person, and you certainly don't need to do any of it, quote unquote, perfectly. You just need a simple way back to yourself when you start to drift, a ritual of sorts, something you can practice. So what might that look like for you? Maybe it's a question you ask yourself, or a mantra you repeat, a space you go, or even a breath or a movement that brings you home. And don't worry about getting it right. The ritual can change. The whole thing can change as many times as you need to. And for those of you who are thrown off by the word ritual, ritual isn't fluff. It's a psychological pattern interrupt. It tells your nervous system, we are safe enough to pause right now. And it helps your body mark the shift from reaction to choice. I have a number of these rituals that I use for myself. My favorite, as I have shared, is to ask myself, Zoe, are you trying to swim upstream again? It's an immediate reset for me. It pops me back into presence and out of reactive mode. Now, your ritual will look different, but that's the beauty of it. The point isn't to nail it. The point is to notice what works, to release what doesn't, and to try again. Gently, but relentlessly, over and over. And even when you are making tweaks or trying something entirely new, that's not regression. Every reset is wiring your brain toward presence. That's integration. It means you're paying attention. It means you're adapting. And every time makes you more adept at bringing yourself home. Remember, this is not about performing alignment, but practicing it. We are all just practicing. And home isn't a place you build to hide away or to isolate. It's what grounds you. It allows you to stay rooted in yourself as you move through the world. And here's something I want to leave you with. I know the world feels heavy right now. And as we've discussed before, we allow much of our lives to be run by external forces. And we are primed to scan for danger and threat. So it's very easy to get lost in probabilities and predictions, in ideas about what might happen. But here's a simple truth. You are an ecosystem. Body, mind, soul, all interconnected, each affecting the other. And like all ecosystems, you don't exist in isolation. You are part of concentric circles. Family, workplace, community, city, culture, each an ecosystem larger than the last. But when you tend your own individual ecosystem, you strengthen and reinforce the larger ones. Now, this is not about ignoring the realities of the world. It's about starting where your actual power lives, inside you. Christopher Celeste asks a question I love. If I were to ask you to name what you love most in life, how long would it take to name yourself? That's the work right there, remembering to name yourself, because that's not selfish, that's service. We've learned not to build our life on external approval, but on an internal compass. So why would we look outside of ourselves for how to change the world? So when the world feels heavy and probability feels suffocating, just consider shifting your focus to possibility instead. For me, probability feels like prediction and control, about narrowing things down to what's statistically most likely. Possibility, on the other hand, feels like expansion and curiosity, about asking what else might be true. I have to keep reminding myself, I can't fix the whole world at once, but that isn't a reason to feel hopeless, because I can choose possibility in my system, in my body, my choices, my relationships. And when I do, it tends to expand. It has a way of rippling outward if you let it. So acknowledge your struggles, reach for the achievements that matter to you, stay up on current events, but don't live there. Don't live in scarcity when a world of possibility is available to you. If you feel wobbly or uncertain or scared, you are not alone. But that wobble is proof you're in motion. It's proof you're not stagnant. It's proof you are alive to your own becoming. And as Glennon Doyle reminds us, we can do hard things. We can accept the difficult stakes of a situation and choose not to be brought down by them. We are primed for negativity, but we always have choice in presence. So even in the hardest times, why not turn your attention to joy? Joy isn't indulgent, joy isn't frivolous, and joy isn't the absence of struggle. It's the proof of that presence. Proof that you live in the real world and still strive to be joyful. Joy doesn't erase the struggle, it strengthens you to meet it. So when you drift, and you will, come back to your ritual. Ask your question, go to your place, breathe the breath that brings you home. And for me, joy is often the signal that I've arrived. maybe it can be for you too. I am so grateful you've joined me in this first season. We have covered a lot. Now I want you to picture yourself 6 months from now. Not perfect, not finished, just more practiced, more fluent. That self is already growing every time you reset. So I will remind you, you are not behind, you are on the path, and you are not broken, you are becoming. You will never be finished, and that's the point. You will always be evolving. So you may as well learn to love the reset. And that brings us to season 2. I have some ideas for where I want to take it, but this isn't just for me. So I'd love to hear from you about it. What resonated for you this season? What new themes would you like to explore? Please send me your thoughts. DM me on Instagram, comment on YouTube, or you can reach out at support@relentlessly.me. And remember, if you want to keep resetting with me before season 2 comes out in the spring, you can always sign up for my newsletter, The Reframe, at relentlessly.me/podcast. It's a twice monthly email of the same flavor, focused, bite-sized, and intended to leave you with something to think about. In the meantime, reset as many times as you need, and I'll meet you here again in season 2.